Hey guys, in this video I'm going to walk you through the process of installing a VST plugin, like your virtual amps and virtual effects. Now this video is for two people here. One, if you're a beginner guitar player, you're just starting out, and of course you're jumping right into the modern way of recording your guitar. Or the second person is if you're a veteran musician or guitar player and you're new to the world of software recording. If you're either of those people, I know this whole process can be a bit overwhelming, so I'm gonna try my best to cover some of the frustrations that I hit along the way and that I've heard from others as well. Before we get started here guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel and ding the little bell. Now before we get into the steps of installing a VST plugin, which I'm actually going to install a virtual amp that I have never played through before, so I'm pretty excited about that, I want to quickly just cover a few preliminary items for you extreme newbies. And these are three things that you need here. So of course you need a computer, you also need an audio interface, lastly you need studio software, you need some sort of recording software. Now if you're not quite there, I'm going to put a link to another video I have up here, and it's a home recording studio for metal guitar players, so I encourage you to watch that. I go pretty in depth of all these devices and how to use them and so forth. Now let's move on to installing a VST plugin. Now the first step is a really simple step and it almost doesn't seem necessary, but I'm gonna tell you why it might be in a second. Make sure that your recording software is closed on your computer, just like you see me doing right now. Now the reason why I do that is because if your studio recording software is open and you download the new VST plugin, whether it's a virtual amp or virtual effect, once you download that, it may not register in your studio. Now, if your studio software is closed, you download the plugin, then you reopen your recording software, you should be able to see it. And of course, we're going to get to that in a second. Now, that may not be the case every single time, guys. Technology is kind of weird. It's not always perfect, but this is just one of those ways that you can avoid that potential frustration. Number two, we're going to go download our virtual amp. All right, so I'm just going to log into Google here, and I'm going to just do a quick search for the specific virtual amp I want to install and try out. So in this case, I'm going to type in Neural DSP. I'm going to try their Plini virtual amp, and I think it has some effects with it too. Been wanting to try that for a while, so we're going to download the free trial version of that amp. So whenever you go, this is just kind of a quick little tip if you haven't done this yet. Whenever you're downloading a demo or purchasing a plugin, a VST plugin from any source, if they have the ability to create an account, I suggest doing that because it just makes things easier if you want to go back and like purchase another plugin or try something else. And I think most of these providers will require you to have some sort of account. So that's just kind of a side note. All right, so what I'm going to do, I should be already signed into my account in Neural DSP. I've purchased from them before and also downloaded demos from them. And by the way, guys, this is not a Neural DSP video. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, not at this point. So, all right, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find what I'm looking for, which is the Archetype Plini. So if I click on the plugin, and whatever virtual plugin that you're wanting to download or try the version, this is probably going to be similar. You find it, then you find the button for the free trial, or if you want to add to cart and go ahead and buy it, it should be relative here to what I'm going through. All right, so we're going to click on free trial because I don't like to pay for things if I haven't tried it yet. You don't want to like buy a virtual amp or virtual effects and then you don't like it, it sucks or whatever, because you really can't take it back. Anyway, that's another tip. All right, so I'm going to check out. Now, once you get the trial version, they should direct you to a download page, the same as if you purchase. They should direct you to a download page. You can see I've got access to the PC installer and the Mac. So I'm running a Mac, so I'm going to click the Mac button, and then that should start downloading now. And I can see it in the corner down there, it is downloading. All right, so we've got the Plini plugin, the virtual amp, downloaded. Now we need to install it. That's our next step here. So again, I'm running on an Apple. I've got an iMac here, and I would assume that doing this on the PC is very similar. So the process I'm going to go through here though is of course on the Mac. All right, agree, continue, blah, blah, blah. Install. Apple always has you put in your password here. And now we're just waiting for the installation of the new virtual amp. Now we can go ahead and reopen our studio recording software. So go ahead and open that back up. And as this is opening, you see there's a Neural DSP window that says activation is required. Now, if we had purchased this specific plugin, and most plugin providers are like this, there's gonna be an activation process. So in this case, if we purchased it, I would click activate, and then it would send me to a page that wants a specific code. Now, on that note, if the plugin provider uses the iLok, and I know some do this company actually does this, make sure your iLok is pulled up and you're logged into that before you go through this process here. Otherwise, you might run into some problems. So we didn't purchase the plugin. We don't have to do any activation. Instead, we're just gonna click on the button that says try. So now we're all set up. We're ready to use this plugin. So let's drag the plugin into a new track and let's see if this works. And now it looks like we can start actually messing around with this really cool looking amp here. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm dying to hear what this thing sounds like. Plus, we want to make sure it works. So I'm gonna record just a short track for you. But before I do that, I want to just quickly run through these steps again. Okay, so step number one, guys, make sure your recording software is completely closed out before you download the new virtual amp or effect. Then you go to the website or wherever you're going to download your plugin, download it. Then you actually need to install it on your machine. Okay, so next, if the company is using iLok, you want to make sure that you're logged into iLok before you bring up your recording software. And this should ensure that that plugin is registered in the software when you pull it up. Now, pull up your recording software and open a track, and try to drag that plugin over. Search for the plugin, drag it over, and you should see it there. If you don't, what I would suggest is just closing your studio out one more time and then bringing it up again to see if it registers. And some DAWs have actually a refresh button for the plugins. You'll refresh it so it'll search your computer to see if there's any new plugins or any new devices there that needs to bring in. So that may work as well. So let's hear what this thing sounds like. Guys, please leave me any questions in the comments, and even better, I actually have a blog post for this video on my direct website. And what I'm gonna do, if you have questions that I didn't cover in this video, or if maybe I missed a few things, because that happens sometimes, I will update my blog post with that information, and I'll put the relevant screenshots in there, so forth. So that blog post is in the description of this YouTube video. There's a link that goes directly to that. It's my jasonstallworth.com site. So yeah, definitely leave me any questions you may have, or again, if I missed anything, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to include that in the blog post, and then I'll send that back out to let everyone know, hey, it's updated with the new information. So guys, thank you so much for watching my video. A lot of you have asked, hey dude, how can we support you? One way is I do have my albums and music out on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music, all those good places. There are links in the YouTube description for that as well. And I also have an online merch shop. You can actually get physical CDs from me, and I've got some really cool t-shirts and mugs. So that's just a great way to support me and my music and the channel here. So all that stuff is in the YouTube description. Make sure you check that out. And guys, until the next video, as always, keep it metal.